welcome to this latest Touchdown Scout film study. Today we're going to be taking a look at Quinnen Williams, formerly of Alabama, now of the New York Jets, former third overall pick back in 2019, big playmaker back in when he was in college and has continued that on and has enabled himself to get a Pro Bowl recognition and an All-Pro recognition in his last final season in 2022. Big question right now is he the game changer for the New York Jets defense that they need? Is he worth $20 million a year? That's what we're trying to answer in this particular video. So we could have gone in a lot of different directions to how we want to review Quinnen. What we've decided to do is take a look at the Week 8 game versus the New England Patriots, key divisional game, and we're just going to be taking a look at the second half snaps here. So at this point in time, the New York Jets are up 10-6. They actually end up losing this game 22-17. So we get to see that transition, in big key clutch moments down the stretch in a key divisional game. So hopefully you guys will enjoy. So first play, we're going to be taking a look at a run play right down the middle. We've got Quinnen Williams lined up here, just over on the inside shade of the left guard there. So here we go. We've got a bit of a motion into the backfield. And straight up. So it's always difficult when you're an interior defensive lineman. You're going to have different offensive linemen coming at you from different angles, trying to double team, trying to seal you off, depending on which gap they're trying to run towards. In this instance, it starts out as if the intended direction of the run is towards the outside. I think the running back spots that this is left completely open. We've got the blitzing linebacker coming down here, and he decides to pop up to the inside. Now, as we're reviewing Quinnen Williams here, I'm just going to take it back and do it in half speed. So we see that initial seal, and we see the left guard win that play side. This speaks pretty much in unison with the idea that this play was designed to go towards the left B gap. As the play counters back inside, it becomes a one-on-one matchup, right? We've got the fullback here who's designed to or fullback tight end, but who came out of the fullback spot to address the linebacker and provide an additional seal here. What I don't like about Quinnen's play here is just the relentlessness of how he plays this. It's quite passive, really. You don't see that energy to do two things. One, drive the centre back off the line, or two, just try and disrupt that play side gap. I'm not sure if he doesn't see it in time or not, but he doesn't affect the play. And this is the type of area you want your all-pro playmaker to really be making a difference on. And ultimately, this goes for a big 30-plus yard gain straight out the half. And that really sets the tone for how this game goes. So here we've got a pass rush play. Same alignment for Quinnen here. And quite sensibly, the Patriots decide to double team him, as I think most sensible offensive line coaches would plan for coming into the game. And ultimately, he's pretty much held here. You're playing against NFL men, right, at this point in the game. You'd like to see, however, from such a dynamic playmaker, just something. Whether that's a loop around to the edge, maybe it's an effort to split down the middle. Ultimately, the guard center tandem has done a really good job of making sure that there's no gap between them. They've got their feet locked. They're reducing that opportunity to split them. But you just want to see some effort here. Or, if he's not going to do that, back off away from them so he can observe and potentially spy, or do something to deflect a pass if the rush lane isn't open for him. Okay, so we've got Quinnen aligned over here on the inside shoulder of the left tackle. And this is where we get to see some of really what Quinnen is all about, right? This is where he makes, his money. It's rushing the passer, particularly, I would say, out of the three technique. Particularly, I would say, as a bull rusher, I think this is where he truly excels. He's got very good, what I can only think of to define as momentum power. Power can be manifested in so many different ways. But what Quinnen is really does well, he struggles in some other aspects of how he applies his strength, but when he gets rolling, He's got a really good leg drive, a really good killer instinct here to drive forward and bash back that guard here. What he then does, as towards the end of the play, he gets his left shoulder nice and low, and he's starting to set up that rip move to arrange the separation. And he's working that well. He applies a pressure. Good overall job. Okay, so we've got another run here, and again another instance of a double tandem here, and it just wipes him out of the play. Ultimately, that can't happen again. We want to see at least, look, when you're double teamed, you are at a disadvantage, obviously. But what you want to see is at least some ability to hold and set your stability, so at least you're not losing ground. Let other people sweep up behind you, but just make sure you hold your ground. And here again, similar. Now this goes from a double to a single block, and at this point, Quinnen should be doing better, either through a spin back to the inside. He can see that. He's got eyes on the running back. Either he sees it too late, either he can't then adjust from what he sees, or maybe he just doesn't have it in him to make that play. And he puts a lot of effort into his pass rush attempts. And maybe this is just an example of, maybe this is a play where I'm going to have to take a play off. I don't want to say that, but it looks like it. If there's another reason for it, I'm all ears to hearing what that is. But ultimately, that's what it looks like. Cool. Here, we've got another of those situations where he's set up against a double team. He's going to see a lot of them in Pass Pro, quite rightly, because he's such a dangerous threat. And it's similar to the one we looked at before. Can he get that overarm there in between them? There's a bit more of a gap than there was on the previous version. And try and split those guys. Use that great power he really has to try and create at least some disruption and or get your hand up. Make sure you make yourself look big. We see him do this later on. He's got it in his locker. That's just an example of where I think he sees that the opportunity for a pressure is done and ultimately doesn't do absolutely everything he could in order to create that pressure. Okay, so I think we've got another run play here. And this is really nice work. Right, he loses a touch of ground, but I can completely accept this. What he does see, he wins the left shoulder here of the guard and is working his way towards the play side as he sees at that juncture. So it looks like the running back number 37, it looks like a pretty templated power play, is going to follow it through these pulling linemen up the field and try and hit a gap somewhere around here. And Quinnen sees this and he works towards it. And he does a really nice job of sealing it off. He's got really good support here from his buddies, making sure that play side gap is addressed. And ultimately, the runner has to then go inside. So, this is unfortunately in this series of plays, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of not great play versus the run. This is an example of where he has got it in his locker, and I think he's better at it when he's operating further along the line or further outside the line, so preferably 3 technique and outwards, and operating against outside runs. So when I see it, the way I see it, I think the more you can play him towards the edges of the line, I think the better he is in every aspect of his game. And right now he plays pretty much evenly between over the nose and out on the right hand side of the defense. So this is going to be a spectacular play. So let's watch this. We've got him aligned here. 3 technique, rushing the passer 1-on-1. Job done, right? Job done. Now let's look at this in a bit more detail because this is something to celebrate. He's operating out of a 2-point stance, so he can effectively operate against the run or the pass here. And this isn't a straight bull rush, which is typically what he's best at. This is showing his hand quickness and violence to, first of all, set up the guard. If you see right now, he's aligned straight down the middle as the guard. And it's with his great hand use, his very good violence there, and the rip move is just beautiful. Um, template stuff. These are the scenarios where I really love Quinnen in. 1-on-1, mano-a-mano, rushing the passer. He's got the ability to win with the ball. He's got the ability to win with speed to power, and he's got the ability to win with quickness. And this just goes to show. And I want to highlight my favourite attribute of his game, and that's his closing instinct. When he gets in this situation, there's few better in terms of defensive linemen that I've watched this year. He is just a relentless hunter. He's the type of guy that has that killer instinct in him, you know? When he just senses that opportunity, his eyes light up and he goes for it. Love to see it. So, we've now moved into the fourth quarter of this game, hence the reversal of the camera. We've got Quinnen Williams here, number 95. So, another nice play here. So, let's just let it roll out. Then we can operate it down. So, really nice quick shed. Pretty similar to the last play here, and we get to see him working towards the outside. A hold, frankly, on him. But does a really nice job of then closing and initiating the run. It may not show up in the stat column. I think that might just go down as a pressure. But again, more example of good play here. So, flip sides. Quinnen Williams is aligned over here. And we get to see here, and ultimately the stunt is well picked up. He's trying to loop around, he gets blocked. Sometimes that happens, right? We're not going to blame Quinnen Williams for this, for the way this operates. But what he does really nicely here is he takes this situation and works it well. He doesn't do what we saw him do a little bit earlier and just get stuck on his two guys, his arms occupied. He keeps himself free, and what he tries to do is get his hands up, get in a position to block the passing lane. He gets his hands up, interferes with the ball, and that is so nearly an interception. All because of Quinnen's play there. Tremendous job. He's one of the best at this, I think. So he had 4 pass deflections this past year. That's a really high performance from a guy operating in the interior of the defensive line. So, got him aligned here at the 3 technique. So, this is a play here where I'm left a little underwhelmed. So we see the inside move here. And what I'm not seeing is the intensity. Just for a bit of context, this is a 3rd and 11 in the 4th quarter with 8 minutes to go. So these are you gotta have it moments. They're down in the game at this moment. They need a stop. Now, we've had a couple of plays where he's been effective. Is this a result of that? Ultimately, his feet, his legs just aren't moving more quickly enough, right? You just get that sense that some of the energy is just gone from his legs. And again, for a player that is going to be paid this amount of money, you need him in those got-to-have-it moments. You know, down late, 3rd down, 3rd and long especially. These are his moments. So maybe you could bring up that maybe the Jets need to restrict his usage so he has enough energy in his legs. Maybe it is something to do with his cardio or whatever. I don't know. So, don't come after me for that. But we just got to see that energy in his legs in those moments. You know. Okay, so here we've got another 3rd down. Oh, sorry, no, this is not a 3rd down. So this is still down by 12. Key run here. So we've got Quinnen Williams aligned just on the outside of the left guard. And he loses that initial leverage battle. Really good job by the left guard of getting nice and low here. And this unsettles Quinnen's balance. And balance is a bit of an issue for him in the run game, in our opinion. And it's this... He misses that he's now going to be wiped out by this down block here by the tackle, and he just gets drills out of the play. We actually see very similar on the next play, so I'm just going to roll it to the next one. Again, these are plays which are New England are running to seal this game out. The game's still open, 5-6 minutes left. We need to have a stop here, and he actually does a really nice job if we look at Quinnen again, lined in the one technique spot, he does a really nice job of holding this down initially. He wins that leverage battle superbly well. I want to see this more often, but he does this nicely. He wins that play side. He's in complete control of this. Now, naturally, because he's done such a good job, the running back's going to bounce outside, and he gets in a good position, but his peripheral vision just lets him down here, I think. He's just so concentrated on the ball carry, he doesn't see where the next threats come from, and he gets attacked from the side here, and then a really good job by 69 to win his back and drive him out of this play gap hole. Again, so really good start. There's a lot of positives there, but just needs to have a bit more of his head on a swivel as the play develops, to make sure he's in the best position possible to maintain versus the run. So we've seen a lot of big rushes here, and I think again this play is another sign that his energy is depleted. We see this play here. He tries to dart initially to the inside. It doesn't work, and his legs stop on him. It's not what we want to see. But he's got this in his locker. This is what I think why I'm bringing it up so much, is that he has the ability to dominate. We've seen it in this cut up. But when the tank is empty down the road, it leaves something left to be desired, from a defensive lineman. So here we've got an outside run. Really nice quickness off the line here to get himself in a good position. He's got a favourable alignment over the guard, so you'd expect him to be in that position. Lots of congestion there, not a lot to do, but I just wanted to highlight that initial quickness off the line. He definitely has that. So 3rd and 6, I believe this is. This is one of the last plays one of his last snaps in this game, excluding kneel downs, etc. Big play, got to have it, and this is what he has in his locker, right? I'm going to take it down to half speed. He has it in his locker to disrupt like this against the run. That's a beautiful, using that momentum strength that we talked about earlier, he's able to just bowl his way through the traffic, through these. Ultimately, the blocking play gets a bit messed up there, but he does a really nice job of finding his way through the traffic, and you see that killer instinct here. Just at this juncture, he's like, right, I'm going to make a play here, and this is where, I'm sure his eyes light up and he wants to hunt. Big, secure tackle. His tackling is very good overall. He shows that good wrap and just bare, hungry strength, which enables him to bring him down. Ultimately, though, the Jets do lose this game to New England. If you're asking me the question, is Quinnen worth $20 million a year? Right now, I would say not quite, but I wouldn't get angry at you for paying him that. I understand the way the market works, and I'm certainly not trying to stop anyone getting their money. I think he deserves every penny he gets paid, or every cent he should get paid. The Englishness in me really came out there. He really has that opportunity to become a defensive playmaker. He's got it all there. I think just in terms of his motor, really needs to improve. His energy levels need to improve. And I think how he's utilised needs to be improved just a little bit. More of that 3 technique, more pure rush assignment. You've got, when you have a playmaker like that who can rush the passer, I think you want to build your defense around him, where you've got a few more guys along the line playing a 2-gap responsibility more often to allow him to have that freedom to just purely rush the passer. Maybe keep him in reserve for those 3rd down plays, those got-to-have-it moments. Maybe limit his snaps in the first half so he's got more energy in the second half. There's a number of things you can do with a defensive line rotation when you've got a player who is this talented. That said, I think he's a very good player. We have him rated as a gold, so clearly someone we like. And this review has been tremendous fun. I hope you all have enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, or like the video and subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate it, and it helps us get more viewers of these things, and we want to just keep making more and more of these. We love what we're doing here. So thanks, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.